From your very first night, you may have experienced firsthand the horrors brought about by darkness. In Minecraft, hostile creatures spawn at night and in caves underneath. Some more specific rules are followed by monster spawning, but in general, anywhere with no light or light level of 0 is breeding ground for these creatures. A more detailed explanation of light levels will be tackled in later guides. Aside from hostile mobs, there are environmental elements to watch out for to stay alive. Hazards include falling, fire and lava, suffocating inside solid blocks, lightning, starvation, drowning, freezing, and explosions. That's not the complete list of injuries you can sustain, so always have an eye out for dangers around you. To successfully defend yourself from unfriendly elements, you can use the available weapons in the game. Sure, you can fist fight or swing a carrot against a horde of zombies, but using proper weapons can better guarantee your safe passage in the treacherous caves and moonlit landscapes. There are 5 items that can be categorized as weapons: sword, axe, trident, bow, and the crossbow. A sword can be made from different materials and is considered as the main weapon by many. It has the fastest attack speed, and it can do sweeping attacks to damage multiple nearby targets. Swords made of diamond and netherite deal more damage than basic stone or iron variants. Swords can be endowed with enchantments unique to its class like sharpness, looting, and fire aspect. Melee attack weapons like the sword, axe, and trident have different cooldown times. The cooldown timer is indicated by the pointer that briefly changes when you are using a weapon. Swords can be swung repeatedly much faster than the axe and trident. You can also deal more damage if you jump and land an attack on a mob. This is called a critical hit and is useful in doing one swing blows to certain mobs. The axe is actually my favorite weapon, as it doubles as a tool to chop down wooden items. The axe deals more damage per attack compared to its sword counterpart, but has a slower cooldown. Hence, you have to learn to time your attacks and retreats. Axes also lose more durability per attack compared to swords and tridents. Tridents cannot be crafted and is a rare drop from a drowned. It can be swung like a sword to deal damage, or thrown like a javelin to hit targets. To throw a trident, press and hold the right mouse button and release at full charge. Thrown tridents need to be picked up, unless they are enchanted with loyalty, which makes it return to your hand after use. Bows are crafted from sticks and strings. You'll also need arrows crafted from sticks, flint, and feathers. To use a bow, press and hold the right mouse button to charge, then release to shoot the arrow. Unless enchanted with infinity, 1 arrow will be consumed per shot. There are special tipped arrows, which can infuse certain effects like slowness and weakness, and even positive ones like regeneration and healing. Even more, there are spectral arrows, which can outline a struck target in a glowing outline. These arrows can be acquired fairly advanced in the game. Crossbows are similar to bows, but with longer range and deals more damage. Crossbows can be crafted from these materials and can also be picked up as loot from pillagers. To use a crossbow, fully charge it by pressing and holding the right mouse button. A fully charged crossbow can be set aside or stored, and you need to right-click again to fire its bolt. While bows can use special arrows like spectral and tipped variants, only crossbows can be loaded with firework rockets, which explodes and deal more damage. Firework rockets with explosion effects are crafted from dye, paper, and gunpowder. All the above weapons have enchantments which make them more powerful and unique. Pair any of the weapons with a shield and a full set of armor, and you can safely explore the depths of your world. Let's begin with the most common of the monsters, the zombie, creeper, skeleton, and spider. Zombies are undead creatures that wander aimlessly, seeking out any unfortunate souls that cross their path. They possess an insatiable hunger for flesh and will relentlessly pursue you. They can seek out players and villagers up to 40 blocks away and can find you even without direct line of sight. They are slow but can attack in groups and can even summon reinforcements when hurt. In hard difficulty, they can bug down wooden doors and claim you in your sleep. Using a sword or axe, you can pace your attacks and back up a few steps while your weapon recharges. Attack, step back, and attack again. A baby zombie is even deadlier as it can run as fast as the player and can fit in 1 block high spaces. It is best to directly confront a baby zombie than to jump and run around. Zombies drop rotten flesh, which can be fed to dogs or traded with cleric villagers. Zombies, on rare occasions, can drop an iron ingot, carrot, or a potato. Zombies can spawn with armor and weapons, and some can even pick up dropped items, including your own weapon if they manage to defeat you. Such zombies will not despawn if they pick up any item in the ground. Zombies have desert counterparts called husks, which inflict hunger and don't burn in daylight. The ocean version of zombies are called drowned. Some of them can be equipped with a trident, and man, they throw these things impatiently. You'll almost certainly be forked down unless you're properly geared up for them, but manage to kill them, and you can get a copper ingot, a nautilus shell, or even their trident. Villagers bitten by zombies can become zombie villagers, which you can heal with a golden apple and a splash potion of weakness. Find one of these igloo structures, locate the secret bunker, and you can practice being a zombie doctor. Skeletons, with their bony frame and uncanny archery skills, pose a unique challenge. Armed with bows and arrows, they can strike a player from a distance. They can sometimes be equipped with enchanted bows and armor, making them a formidable threat. Skeletons are best confronted with a shield to block the arrows, and charge at them while they reload. A sword enchanted with smite or a ranged weapon like bow or crossbow are your weapons of choice for skeletons. You can walk sideways to dodge some of the arrows, but the faster you get closer to them, the sooner the threat will be over. Like zombies, skeletons can pick up items on the ground but are limited to picking up weapons and armor pieces only. Skeletons drop bones, arrows, or even their armor or bow when killed. Bones can be turned into bone meal to use in accelerating the growth of your crops. Skeletons are afraid of wolves, both wild and tamed, and will run away from them. Exploring with your canine companion can actually help you fight and ward off these skellies. There's a skeleton variant in coal biomes called the Stray. They behave similar to skeletons, but shoot arrows that inflict slowness. Zombies and skeletons burn in sunlight, so you have less to worry about when you stroll outside after a good night rest. Next is the spider. These 8-legged arachnids possess the ability to climb walls, making them adept at surprising their prey. They attack by jumping and biting players. They cannot climb underneath of blocks or ceilings, but can detect players behind walls, and will get as close to its target as possible. Like skeletons, they can sense players up to 16 blocks away. You can block lunge attack by spiders with the shield, then strike it with a sword or axe. As always, bows and crossbows can kill spiders from afar. Spiders are actually neutral during daytime when exposed to light level 11 and up. They will turn hostile though when provoked. When killed, spiders drop strings and occasionally spider eyes. A more potent version of the common spider are cave spiders, which are exclusively spawned by monster spawners in mine shafts. These spawners are sheltered by cobwebs, which are difficult to get through. Cave spiders inflict poison and are much smaller, enabling them to fit in tight 1x1 spaces to track you. Zombies, skeletons, normal spiders, and cave spiders are some of the monsters that can be spawned by these monster spawners. These are activated when a player is within 16 blocks and can be deactivated by placing light sources like torches. Monster spawners are generated randomly underground or in specific structures like mine shafts, bastion remnants, nether fortresses, and strongholds. Monster spawner cages can be broken but are unobtainable by any means in survival. Among the most common hostile mobs is the iconic creeper. Known for its explosive tendencies, this green creature silently approaches players before detonating with a devastating blast. Their hissing sound will send shivers down your spine, as it almost always ends in an explosion that destroys nearby blocks. Explosion damage can be minimized when using a shield. If you are not skilled enough, creepers are best dealt with by a bow and arrow. If you practice enough though, you can attack, step back, and attack a creeper, just barely letting it complete its self-destruct sequence with every hit you make. Once killed, creepers drop gunpowder, an ingredient in making your own explosive arsenal like TNT, firework rockets, and fire charges. If you think you can dance your way out of an explosive situation, try getting a creeper killed by a skeleton. Let a creeper stalk you and let a skeleton shoot down the creeper. Once killed, the creeper will drop one of many available music discs in the game, which you can play in a jukebox. A more dangerous type of creeper is a charged one. If lightning during a thunderstorm strikes a creeper, it becomes charged, indicated by the blue energy field surrounding it. It destroys more blocks in a wider radius and can make nearby mobs like zombies, skeletons, or normal creepers to drop their respective heads. A charged creeper can also drop the heads of piglins and wither skeletons if you can somehow get a charged creeper through a portal and into the nether dimension. Creepers are afraid of cats and will flee in their presence. The next mob is the Enderman. These tall, slender mobs spawn naturally in all 3 dimensions and are actually neutral until provoked. If a player looks at an Enderman's face or hits it with a melee weapon, the Enderman will open its mouth, shake, and begin attacking the player. This attack is accompanied by a strange, eerie sound. Take a listen. You cannot outrun an Enderman, as it can teleport up to 32 blocks at a time. You can protect yourself by standing under 2-block-high spaces, or stand in water as they are harmed by water and rain. There's no point in using ranged weapons like bows and tridents against Endermen because they teleport immediately before being hit by projectiles. To safely kill an Enderman, place a boat near an Enderman and let it hop in. Once inside a boat, the Enderman will not be able to teleport out even when provoked. Endermen can cause some minor damage to your landscape or builds by randomly picking up certain blocks. Endermen only drop one type of item when killed, Ender Pearls, which a player can use to gain teleportation abilities. Hold an Ender Pearl and right-click slightly upwards as if throwing a tennis ball far into your intended location. Once the Ender Pearl lands or hits a solid block, you are immediately teleported to wherever the pearl landed. Using Ender Pearls causes fall damage, and you better get yourself boots enchanted with feather falling to mitigate this slight drawback. Be careful not to throw a pearl far into a deep ocean, as it may teleport you deep undersea. Using Ender Pearls also has a chance of spawning a small violet endermite, which is hostile to the player, but has a limited lifespan of just 2 minutes. Ender Pearls can be crafted into Eyes of Ender, which is important for 2 purposes. One is to craft the Ender Chest, a storage that can be placed down and the contents will be synchronized with every other Ender Chest in the world in all dimensions. Think of it like a cloud storage. Even if you destroy every Ender Chest, the items contained in it are safe and can be retrieved by placing down a new Ender Chest in any dimension. In multiplayer, Ender Chests are unique to every player, making it the most secure way of keeping your most treasured items. Second important use of the Eyes of Ender is to locate the stronghold and unlock the portal to the End Dimension, the place where Endermen come from. This topic will be fully covered in a separate guide. Slime spawn in swamps or in certain slime chunks below Y level 40. Because of this geofencing, slimes don't pose as much threat as the other hostile mobs. They come in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. They attack by jumping on their targets in an attempt to crush them. If you attack and kill a large slime, it will simply split into medium-sized slimes, which will split further to small slimes when killed. Killing small slimes will drop slime balls. Slime balls enable you to craft leads for ranching, sticky pistons for redstone contraptions, and bouncy slime blocks to, I guess, jump and play around. Large slimes are best targeted with a bow and arrow, but if you can time your attacks well, you can also use any melee weapon. Small-sized slimes are harmless to the player, although they appear to pursue and attack you. Witches are strong opponents that throw several types of splash potions to harm the player. They can inflict poison, slowness, harming, or weakness, depending on what potion the witch deems necessary to kill the player. Her inventory is unlimited, and she can drink potions to her advantage. Witches are best defeated using ranged weapons. You should attack continuously until the witch dies, because she can use potions to revive her health almost as quickly as the damage you inflict. The rewards of killing a witch is plenty, with drops of sticks, glass bottles, glowstone dust, redstone dust, spider eyes, gunpowder, sugar, or even potions. Witches can spawn naturally in the overworld, albeit more rarely than the others, and can also be from villagers unfortunately struck by a lightning bolt. As pointed out in the first episode, sleeping allows you to skip the night and stop hostile mobs from spawning above ground. There is a threat from the sky that can also be avoided by sleeping regularly. Phantoms spawn above a player at night or during a thunderstorm if the player has not slept for at least 3 Minecraft days. They can appear in any biome, including the Mushroom Islands, which is off limits to all other hostile mob spawning. They fly around and swoop down to bite the player while making haunting screeches. You can block their attacks with a shield, and you can actually hit them with your axe or sword. You can also use your bow and arrow while they dive towards you. When killed, they drop a phantom membrane, an ingredient to make potions of slow falling. It's also used for repairing an elytra, a wing-like glider you can use to fly around. Elytras are endgame items which can only be obtained in the end dimension. Phantoms are afraid of cats and will abort their attacks if they sense a cat on the ground. In general, common hostile creatures spawn within 128 blocks, but not less than 24 blocks of a player. Although they should not spawn right in front of your face, there certainly will be times you'd get surprised from a creeper, skelly, or zombie jumping on you from above. Hostile creatures are removed by the game when a player is farther than 128 blocks. If you want to stop a hostile mob from disappearing, you can cautiously name tag your target mob. Name tags can be found in loot chests, fished out as treasures, or can be bought from librarian villagers. Alternatively, you can place a mob in a boat to save them for later. In Java Edition, hostile mobs don't despawn while in a boat. Mobs have different health and strength of attack based on difficulty level. Needless to say, mobs are harder to fight in hard difficulty. In peaceful level, the game will remove all hostile mobs, including those you saved by name tagging. So be mindful of that if you made some contraptions utilizing a hostile mob. There are monsters that you won't encounter in the night unless you visit their natural abode. They live in different structures scattered along the varied blocky landscapes of your world, awaiting your visitation. But we'll get to know them in part 2 of our combat and hostile mobs episode. So, sharpen your sword, gather your resources, and get ready for an unforgettable journey. For we are the warriors who take the fight to them, carving our names in the annals of Minecraft history. Until then, I am Sage, and I hope to see you in one piece in our next endeavor.